What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys a new, replay analysis of a Greymane Hero League game that I had. This game was really good by me, I think. I had a lot of really clean plays, and honestly, I just wanted to bring you guys this video to kind of break down the way I'm thinking while I'm playing Greymane. A lot of people, I think, miscalc this character and do things that you shouldn't do, and then other times I think I see a lot of players with Greymane not take the risk to make the play. And in this video you'll see a bit of both when it comes to play styles. When should you be passive, when should you be aggressive. I also want to say that I apologize for recent video uploads. I haven't been uploading near as much as I used to. I honestly should start looking into uploading builds for characters that weren't played before and are now played. So I'll probably start doing that. I think really what it's been is I uploaded a ton of stuff for a ton of heroes. Essentially all the heroes that were good I still have videos for, so it's almost not like I've run out of content, but the ideas aren't flowing near as well as they were. Also, really the big factor here is that as of recent, I've been super focused on HGC. Being a pro player, trying to do YouTube, trying to stream, trying to also live life can be tough and time consuming. So I've had problems with that as well. But I figured I'd bring this video to you guys today because a lot of people like watching my Greymane. A lot of people probably want to learn a little bit more about Greymane, and I figured I'd go over this game today. I will be pausing a fair amount. I'll try my best not to pause a lot, but there are times when I need to pause to break stuff down. So you will see some pauses. This isn't going to be a straightforward gameplay through. But so looking at the builds for this game, you can see the other team, they're low healing because they have that Uther, so they have lots of burst healing but not a lot of sustain healing. They also have Cassia, who's very good against auto attacks. ETC with Block Party, also good against autos, and Valeria, you're probably not going to be autoing her much. So you can see I'm going to take the standard Cocktail build. Cocktail's just good against Uther. Honestly, if you can hit somebody, you'll get a lot of poke in. So right here, we see this ETC slide in our Genji, and I'm going to respond by going Worgen form. The reason for this is that this team's cooldowns are off the table. So by going melee form, I can auto the same, at the same kind of safety as I could range, and I'm going to deal more damage and obviously tank more damage because of the base armor. So it's good to know when the enemy team uses a cooldown that would typically get you killed, to immediately jump at that opportunity to get in and start damaging. And here you can see Valeria's dueling me, but she will never win this duel, and I almost, with that cocktail, end up killing her. So very, very close. And then here we're going to tell our Genji to be careful. Funny story about this Genji. He had like 60 games total played. He had only played this game for 5 days. So this is me. I told him Genji wasn't good, and he said, "What are you talking about? Genji's great against Azmodan and Uther." But then turns out that this guy has played the game for 5 days total, has about 60 games played. 75% of them are on Genji and in quick match. He had like a 9-3 Hero League record and was Diamond 3, so I guess that's cool. But you'll see as this game goes on, we basically just carry this guy. It's sad. It's pretty sad, but here there's, because we have Vikings as Greymane, you want to look to push. And truthfully, as long as you know who's there, it's okay to go Worgen form. As you see here, ETC slid. That does nothing. His slide's down now, so I can play fully aggressive onto this Cassia, and we end up picking up the kill on her. Here, I have to be a little careful of the gank. When Valeria goes on me, I truthfully could have Worgened and started fighting her at that health. I had to be a little careful of this, but it's more safe just to Worgen, Q away, and then when you create the space, the gap between the two of you, and you get away that way. So here, 2-minute mark is around, it's 2:10. So I'm going to start the easy camp, and you can see here I get vision of the easy camp with my cocktail so that I can E over, and I immediately enter beast. You want to make sure that your Qs are hitting both of these, and you can see I have this one weak, so I switch to the other, and then when my Q's back up, I can kill that, right? Something else you can do if you have a fair amount of mana, which I probably could have done there, you can stay on the point, and then the second it caps, Q, E, L, and then mount up, and you move a little bit faster to where you're trying to go when you get done with the camp. Alright, so here's another example. I see ETC's cooldowns. He's used them. So I can be a bit aggressive. I don't really want to hit Cassia because of her base armor. She essentially like counters Greymane for the most part. So I'll switch to ETC. He's got a nice W and his Q's back up. But now we're going to start to try to channel. Cassia does a good job here of just poking me out. And I'm pretty sad that, Cassia doesn't get zoned off more, because she's going to get the break on me several times. See, here's one more time. Again, instead of trying to kill her, we're trying to kill the Uther. I have a Valier come at me. I end up queuing off the second I see her stealth, so she can't catch it on me. And then I have her kind of marked here. You can see me going for that. I have to be careful. Her cheap shot range does beat me. And here we go. 60 games played Genji in a Grandmaster game. Makes sense. Good matchmaking going on here. Nice route. And we're going to see Greymane do what he does best. Run people down. End up picking up a triple. And then because I want to keep Inner Beast going, I'm actually hitting this wall. Pirate, Rum thinks I'm, trying to push. And of course, here we go. We got this Genji trolling, realizing he hasn't done anything this game. But this is not bad play by Arthas. We get a whole wall for free. And honestly, we can just back and heal. I want to say I might overstay here. So I'm not really too afraid of their team. The only person I'm honestly afraid of is Valeera. So these two typically will never kill me, I don't think. And here I figure I should back. I have Eric here. And I end up leaving. Probably head to the hard camp now. You really want to get camps out in between tribs on Cursed especially. And Greymane does that well. If not, okay. So it looks like I'm doing hards. Or headed to top. No, okay, so I'm actually headed to top instead of doing hards because I want to defend this so we don't lose all of this to just a random minion wave. And you can see there, cocktail on the front minion, E to the front minion, Q the rest of the minions. This fight, I end up sacking. So we don't have Arthas here. And I missed my cocktail. I wanted to hit one of these two to blow up on cover. We end up just sacking this. We don't have Arthas, and without Arthas, I can't really gauge into them because there's no threat on our team. And I'll probably just end up dying. Here, I'm just trying to get Q stacks for my 7 quest. Alright. Whenever your explosion hits heroes, you get stacked. So you'll see that I'm going to keep trying to attempt that here with these two. I fail there miserably. They do a good job of just like standing together. And the worst part here is now that I've done that, I do not have Q to clear this minion wave, and they get a lot of value. But you'll see I'm about to bait them pretty hard. Can't get, as long as I don't get stunned by Uther, it's fine. So I'm spacing. And now Arthas and Lily are both here. We are level 10. The problem here is that we switch. So Arthas was on Cassia, and she was definitely dead. But instead, we switched to Uther. And this is going to come back to bite us. Because Uther Ghost heals. Right? So, you can see now Uther Ghost is just owning. I know that Arthas has a fair amount of ghouls up still. I can see, right? So I'm going to go back in, and I still have go for the throat up. And you can see now the mark is above this guy's head. So I'm going to go right in for a go for the throat. Have to really be careful. Oh my gosh, that sound. Hello? Okay, I have to really be careful of slide. So you can see here, I go for the throat and immediately Q back. And ETC is going to end up missing that slide. Alright, so the threat is gone with this hero. The only thing that he has is Mosh Pit. So now I need to make sure that I do not get moshed. Alright, so you can see here I'm hitting him, I'm hitting him, I'm hitting him. Alright, and here's the Moss animation. We see it, and we're going to tumble back. And now we have basically free kill on ETC. Sadly, the Arthas does die. But I know 3 people are dead. And the trib's up, so I'm just going to get fort for free. Greymane pushes so well with minion waves that I decided to push. I actually miscalc this. One more auto there, and I kill this with that cocktail. But since I didn't kill it, I'm just going to clear the wave. You should clear waves anyways. And then my minion wave should go in and finish that off. So we're going to look to back here. My team is fighting during this, sadly. But fort value for Trib is not terrible because you do get XP lead. So you can see here, I'm like totally out of it. I think that fight's over. They have the other team's gotten the Trib, alright? Like, why are we still fighting? So I move on to hards because the Trib's gained by the other team. I figured our team's gonna sack it. They end up all dying. I think it's still fine that they all die. Because the enemy team actually ends up counter-throwing this with this push. This push at the start looks really good, really clean, and then all of a sudden it's not clean. I haven't really been paying this Genji much attention because I shouldn't, but let's just watch this Genji ult here. This is a Diamond 3 player, by the way, everyone. Sick game, sick game. We hit 13. So this is me flaming the Genji player. Essentially, yeah, it was like, he said that the heroes were good, and then, you know, we hit tab, and he's 1, 4, and 2. So now this is where the other team has to force a fight onto us. I see the slide from ETC, and now I know the gates are open, and I can go full hard on. I need to watch the mosh. I tried very hard there. But just barely wasn't out of it. So now we see this Valir coming after me. If you stand in a brush, Valir can't get vision of you, so she can't click on you. Right? Even with the death from above talent. So I figured if I stand here, she comes up, I can Q her out of an invis. And then I have the fight I want on her. As long as you don't get hit by stealth hits, you can beat Valir for the most part. So here I'm trying to get my team to come to the boss. 2 are dead. See Cassie at top, see Valir mid. It's so unlikely that they come and contest this. You know, for me, when I'm looking at the map, especially in this place, you know, we were pretty weak coming off of that. So the enemy team's probably going to do hard camp or easy camp. Let's see. So they actually think we're doing our boss. ETC goes to check our boss, even. And yeah, we get rewarded for a pretty aggressive play. Now here it's me typing in all caps, get ready for Trib. So I get a good cocktail there on all of them. And I'm just immediately going for the reset, which I do end up getting. Here's that crazy sound that we all love to hear. D-Storm does hit me, but I'm resetting off now, so. Pick up the Quadra. We got boss pushing. And I'm going to look for another play because I basically carried this game. Just waiting for a trip to channel. So Trip's channeled down. We go. We hit the cocktail. Logan gets rooted by boss. Free kill. And now we kind of just want to pressure. You know, actually Logan got a fair amount of damage on the boss, so. But now we just want to pressure out these lanes. Make sure everything's pressured. Like this Vikings player is pretty much just lost a whole wave of Sog. I end up knocking this gate so that I can have vision. You can see here I'm holding this vision on the enemy team. No surprises. And when they full commit to bottom lane, we just rotate mid and start pushing mid. The good thing about what's happening here is that force smoke bomb. Top is pushing during all this. Here comes the fight. This is where ETC actually gets a really good mosh, and I felt like we were gonna lose, but I find the play again. I think another cocktail. Oh no, yeah, this is a really close. This is really close. Again, we have, you know, the other lane should be pushing, right? Because they're cursed. So they're all so weak. This is where I just wanted to ult this Cassius so bad, but I was spacing cover to make sure he couldn't destorm me. He finally destorms, and here you can see me again going for that. Dodge the basketball. I get out, right, and then I actually come back. Even when you're low health, it doesn't mean you can't fight. I look to hit cocktail on this minion. I look to hit the cocktail on this minion and then get a reset off on both my ults here. So you'll see here, I throw the cocktail. It does connect. I should have been faster about Eing this guy, but I, for some reason, was spamming my R button. I mean, I remember this. You can see my R graying out. Here, this is me spamming R when really all I have to do is ER. I don't even know what was going on in my head. But then eventually I'm like, wait, all I have to do is ER. So I ER, get the reset on cover, and yeah, pick up the double kill. And basically get free balls for our team. You know, for punishing the other team for overstaying. Again, this is that was a good example of, like, even if you're dead, it doesn't mean you're dead. Like, just because you're very low health doesn't mean you can't help the fight anymore. And in that case, I even took a risky line. I found my angle, that cocktail on the minion, and ended up getting a double reset into a double kill. And another important thing to note there too was that we did not kill Uther first. You got to be very careful about that now. With the new Uther meta, a lot of people are going to fail at that. Sometimes it's good to kill Uther and then go do an objective, right? Because then they don't have a support, right? And that's I think that's a very different case. But to kill Uther and then try to continue to kill, you're never going to succeed at that. Like, never. You're never going to succeed. So now we have the boss. This is me saying, you know, I think we can win. Just watch D-Storm and Mosh. We have top wall down. A lot of times on Curse, with walls down, then usually your boss has a better chance of winning because you're only gonna it's only gonna take keep damage and this tower damage, and the other team can only damage them during this window. So here we take blunderbuss at 20, and we're gonna try to splash hit. Alright, so we're splashing and hitting here. I see my team's fighting, so I start to go pretty aggressive. Cover plays a good defensive Uther. You can see he held stun and D-Storm for me. But after I realize, like, our window to win is closing, I'm just gonna fully commit to the core. Stay in Worgen form. No reason to go human form. I end up going human form to dodge and stand into the under the boss. Yeah, just basically an all-out core here. And the Genji, of course, in Genji fashion, when you have only played 60 games and you're all in the core and your whole team's almost dead, ease through Azmodan instead of hitting the core. But luckily, we got to play it again. Vikings, and they end up killing the core. So take that game down in 15 minutes. Check out the stats. We ended up going 12, 11, and 1. That death at the very end of the game. The build, full cocktail with dark or running wild. This is the range on E. This just lets me get to Cassia easier, essentially. Also lets me roll away. Like, I think the roll value isn't talked about as much, because not only can you roll away, but like you can also roll into them really far and then ult, right? If you're Worgen, you're hitting frontline, and somebody in the back gets pressured, you can tumble through their team essentially, and then immediately go for the back line. So it's like a there's two things going on there, right? And then I had taken Executioner this game because I had the Arthas, so they're always going to be slowed. So I'm always going to get that bonus attack if I'm hitting people. And then Blunderbuss, important with that talent is when you do Executioner, you know, your splash hits proc Executioner, plus all your splash hits are crits. So it's an absurd amount of damage if you're just shooting frontline and it's just splashing into the back line. So even if you're shooting frontline and you're getting Executioner on that, all that splash is critting backline. So insanely powerful. I just don't really think there's any other talent here with Greymane. This is one of his biggest power spikes, and I think it's underrated, really. Especially against heroes like, a good example would be Uther. I mean, not Uther, Arthas. Arthas is like, he ghouls with his army of the dead, and you blunderbuss with a cocktail down his whole army. Like, just kills everything. It's one of the few heroes that can do that right now. So, but that is this Greymane game. So if you guys enjoyed this, please make sure to throw a like and subscribe. If you have any further questions about Greymane or things that I did this game, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I honestly think Greymane's one of the most fun characters in the game. One of the most mechanical characters. It's all about knowing your limits with him. It's all about maximizing damage, minimizing, you know, damage you take. And he's just a lot of fun. You can outplay people a lot of the times, as long as you know, play through what's happening in the fight, right? And where you need to be at. So, hope you guys enjoyed, as always. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you then. Cheers.